Hi, welcome to my other show. My name is Susan Rushton and this is AhMuse. This is the show on which I'm thrilled to, I'm tickled to, I'm delighted to, I'm privileged to talk to people in Auburn who are lured by one or another of the muses. Today I have some singers and some actors. They're one and the same. I have Patti Baker, who is deeply involved with Auburn State Theater, STAC, the State Theater Acting Company. Thank you, Patti, for joining me. And Dan Spacek, who is also deeply involved with STAC, the State Theater Acting Company. Got it right? Yeah. And if you want to learn more, and of course you do, you must want to learn more about the State Theater. AuburnStateTheater.org, Theatre.org, at 985 Lincoln Way. You can't miss it. If you're interested in emailing, info@Auburn State Theater. And you can click on STAC as well, State Theater Acting Company. These are brilliant actors, brilliant singers, brilliant people who adore, I know this one adores Auburn. Do you live in Auburn, sir?
I do live in Auburn. I've lived here now for almost 11 years, having moved out from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Oh my, welcome.
Thank you.
Newcomer. Yes.
Yeah, we call those wash-ashores back on Cape Cod.
Wash-ashore.
Wash-ashore, but there's not a lot of shore around here, so I just rolled down the mountain.
Okay.
And here I am.
Okay. Well, I want again, welcome. Thank you for joining me, colleagues. And I want to specifically say that these two actors / singers are in the STAC's most recent musical. We are showing this, we are filming this in November of 2022. So if you're seeing this past that date, past that month, please note that just because they may have finished a show doesn't mean they're not going to start another one. So at this moment they are working on Shrek the musical, Friday through Sunday through November 20th, 2022. If you see this then, figure out if you can get tickets. I see that the center of the space is packed. That's thrilling.
Yeah, it is.
And my director has said, oh my God, Susan, go. And so I will. Okay. I have my ticket. So, why STAC? No, why Shrek the musical? Why are you involved?
Oh, well, I'm involved in Shrek because I was one of the founders of STAC.
Okay.
I have to be.
Very clever.
You know, I mean, but that's not necessarily why I'm in the show. But if I wasn't in the show, I would be doing something, painting which I do anyway, painting something, getting props together, all the myriad things that go along with doing something like of this scale. Yeah.
And it is a scale.
It is.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And what about you, Dan?
Yeah, I'd like to answer that in two ways. I think, one, the choice of a musical like Shrek to put on for everyone is so needed right now. The lightness of the story, the message of acceptance is a huge one right now. Self-acceptance and acceptance of others. You know, our divided times really, I think, long for more messages like this that remind us of our true nature and who we are as a community. So I think this is essential, not only to just us as a community theater, but to our community. It's just part of who we are. And then my involvement with it is just because it is such a delightful just hilarious play with incredibly rich characters, and you just, when you get a chance to bring something like that to life, not only do you get the joy of giving it to someone else and allowing people to see it and appreciate it, but you know, you get the joy of the experience of the family that the State Theater Acting Company is, and we truly are, whether we are doing, as Patti said, the in front of the or on stage or all the behind the scenes stuff, you know, we're all connected to that, and we all, you know, just appreciate so much the various roles that go into playing that. So there's a lot of ways to answer that question, but those are the two that you know, come to my mind.
Patti, thank you for recommending him.
That's kind of the response I usually get when I do something with Dan. But, you know, Dan's also on the STAT committee.
Okay.
The committee was formed in 2015. And our first show was a year later, Music Man. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have a live band. We had a very small budget. Since then, we have added people. People have come and gone. Some people have moved away. You know, various reasons that they left the committee, and we have always looked for people to be on the committee that we felt had not acting talent or singing talent
necessarily.
Not even. But had something they could bring to us. Maybe they're very good organizers. Maybe they are good at creating graphic design that we need for
maybe
programs.
They know people.
Maybe they know people. That's absolutely
helpful.
True. Yeah.
That's part of it.
So we've built this committee that gets along so well, and you know, we chose Shrek the musical over 2.5 years ago, and right as we were supposed to be finishing up with The Drowsy Chaperone, and then everything happened. So, but what we did during the shutdown was we as a committee met via Zoom and read the script together. We assigned parts to each other and we read the script. And as soon as we were finished, we went, this is it. Having no idea the complications of this show. A dragon.
Oh, goody. A dragon.
Various puppetry. You'll see. It's not a simple show to put on.
Okay.
I don't think we realized when we chose it.
Yeah,
I can imagine that happens with every show. There are complications.
Maybe to a degree.
Yeah.
I think the realities of Shrek, though, kind of became clear once we jumped in because the message, and it just seemed like the right choice. And then you sort of figure out the rest. And there was a lot of figuring out, and continues to be.
Yes.
But that's part of the joy of it, too, is that as the audience, you don't need to see any of that. But just know that there's a lot that has been happening and continues to happen behind the scenes to get everything in right. As we all like to say, the backstage work is like Tetris, and getting everything to fit just so and to play out just to create the atmosphere that we have been able to is it's quite a trick, and that's also part of the fun.
Sure.
Because it's like a little riddle to figure out every time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and we have an extremely good backstage manager in this show. Someone who's acted with us before but didn't have a part in this show. But boy, she has made a huge difference to us, Allison.
She's
Cola.
like a backstage. She's a director for all of us behind the scenes.
Yeah, because there's lots going on back there. And so far, that's going really well.
We hope we can keep it going.
Yeah. I don't see any reason why you can't. Well, actually, I haven't seen it, and so maybe it's so energetic that oh my goodness. How can you do this twice on a Saturday?
We're going to find out this Saturday about that. We have always done 2 shows on Saturday, but this show is physically very consuming, trying for certain people. Not for me.
Not for you,
It is
of
for
course
Dan.
not.
It's for Dan and for the actors that play Donkey and Shrek in particular, along with Dan, just because their costuming is so
involved.
And
there's a unique physicality to much of it as well. Not only bulky costumes, but for my part, I perform the whole time on my knees. So the effect for me is, if you have ever done scuba diving or even snorkeling, and you're just sort of treading water and you're trying to speak with someone, you can do it, but it's a complete different sense of your physicality, your lungs, your capacities, all of that. So the normal way that I support myself when I sing, you know, standing on my feet, that is not happening. And so then incorporating that and learning how to breathe and to preserve your breath and to hold yourself on top of choreography on your knees, it's quite a well, each day is
it's astonishing.
It's a new possibility to see how it's going to play out, because by the end of a given song, inside my head was like, okay, I got no breath left. I gotta find a way to get a deep breath and sort of subtly do that and fill up those lungs again so that you can deliver, you know, oftentimes the closing, you know, part to a song. But that's part of, to me, again, it's part of that puzzle, and I'm very much into puzzles and trivia and that sort of thing. I love the joy of figuring it out every time, because every time it's a little bit different. You know, you train, you prepare, and then there's things that happen. Like Patti said, our costuming and our props are so elaborate that we are marching around and dancing, and then someone steps on something and it starts pulling something off. And on opening night, I had a wardrobe malfunction and had to hold up my particular cloak, which hides the fact that I'm kneeling. It hides my feet. And so that was fine. It's part of the deal, right? But it was quite it was an opportunity for distraction. And that was a point where it was like, okay, stay here, stay in it. No one's going to notice as long as you're not freaking out.
Yeah.
But I have, you know, the way that we are all trained, and this is a credit to our director, and it's a credit to all the people who are watching, is to say that just pay attention to what's going on. And so we have people behind who are just naturally sort of helping me with it. So I wasn't fiddling. I was just able to do what I did. And that, to me, I don't know if that happens in every community theater, but it's part of how we are trained.
People
we
help
all
each other.
Watch for each other. We help each other. We learn each other's lines. We're asked to learn all the songs so that it can be something where we all are just more naturally able to step in and assist.
If that's not the way things are in drama, in musicals, in community theater or elsewhere, that's terrible. If it's not that way.
Well, it's unfortunate, that's for sure, but it also it depends on how, what's the word, not professional, but it sort of is, how much the company itself requires that. For example, one thing we decided when we started Stack was we will always start on time and we will end on time until the week before you open Tech Week, and then you're there till you're not there anymore. You're just there because now you're working with the band and with the lights and with the costumes, and things happen. But, you know, I've been involved in various things where, well, we can't start because not everybody's here. No, we start on time, and you better be there.
Yeah.
Because it's disrespectful
and
to everyone
it's
who
vital to the community of the of the group.
And that's what it's like too. You're supposed to be off book. Ray started making us sing without the script. I think the first night we have ensemble singing rehearsals for the first week. All we do is sing. And, you know, we're working on a song, and after we've gone through it and gone through the parts, then he'll say, put your book down. Yeah, it's a little scary.
Now what?
So you know, we expect people to be what's called off book, know your lines, and you do, you know, because it's expected and the company expects it.
Yeah.
It happens naturally, I think, in musical theater, where you do just end up learning the parts, learning each other's songs, learning each other's lines. But here it's particularly encouraged. Not in a way that's sort of wagging a finger, but it just allows us all to take co-ownership of the entirety of the play, not just
This
our
is
part.
ours.
It's totally ours, and it's, again,
Not mine.
that message itself is so vital, you know, that it's not about me. This is not a group, a troupe built on individual talent. It's all about how do we make each other better, because that's what makes the show shine. And I think everyone that I've talked to that has seen it has seen how the collective is always just like, it blows people away, because each individual, yes, is adding their part, but it's seamless. It's all connected. And to me, that's the only way, as you say. It's the only way it really works, but it's really just encouraged and talked about, and so it's very specific, and we all understand this going in. And I feel like that takes it to that next level. So it's not that other groups aren't necessarily doing it, but I feel that we are very direct in the way we approach it.
We also, and this is kind of a backstage thing that people don't see, unless you are down in the green room changing your costume, you are off stage right or stage left singing into a microphone when there's the ensemble parts or choral part. And you'll see everybody congregate around, and we have a television with a camera on the director leading the band, and we watch that. And we know when to stop.
Yeah.
And so we're all there. It's kind of fun to watch because we're all gathered around. The minute he goes boom and we're done, everybody files downstairs and goes and changes. And then a few minutes later they run up again and they sing the next part. And it's like it's a collective effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Truly.
This is wonderful. I want to talk about, well, first of all, I want to share with you that I meant this to be only about singing at the beginning when I invited them, but this is all about what goes on at the State Theater, behind and in front. But you are in this show because you're singers.
I'm in this show because I'm a dancer who sings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are in the show because you sing or you act?
I do think, how shall I say this? In community theater, I think if you're a male who can sing, it gives you a good shot to find a role.
Sure.
And I just happened to audition for Lord Farquaad. I mean, I'm a minister in my regular life, so I'm very holy and angelic. So then playing a character like this is so fun. It's so much, it's gold to be able to do that. So I saw that and I said, I have to try for this. So I jumped in. So yes, I do think it's the singing, but I also think that I have a certain passion and an ability to emote that sort of fits the character well. And you know, when you come see the show, you might catch a little glimpse of that.
I could, but it's possible.
Yeah, so I do think the collective, and then I watch people like Patti so that I can learn how to dance and sing at the same time. You know, walking and chewing gum is a bit of a challenge for me.
Especially on your knees.
Well, no, actually that makes it a bit easier because it takes some of the moves off the table. I can't exactly do a pirouette in
I'll bet you could if you were experienced.
Maybe next show, Susan. But yeah, so it's made it fun. I mean, it's a total challenge in its own way, but it's also simplified things too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So, okay, what about singing then?
Well, you know, my whole career was in dance.
Okay.
And then Glenda Gonzalez asked me, I was working on something at the State Theater with her, she asked me to be in her radio show 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember saying specifically to her, Glenda, I don't speak on stage. Because dancers don't talk, you know?
Yeah.
And she said, no, you have stage presence, I believe you can do this. And I had not sung since I was in middle school and had such a horrible experience.
Middle school.
Right. So as a small child, like
it was simple.
6 or 7 years old, I was singing. I know this because my mother kept the clippings from the newspaper of me singing at things. And so I thought I could sing. And then some things happened and shut me down. And then Glenda offered to give me singing lessons. I had already started to act by then, so I was speaking on stage. But as a choreographer and a dancer, that's where my experience and passion, I guess you would say, was. Glenda worked with me for several years to sing. And I sing now, and I sing all the time. I sing in the car, I sing in the house, I love to sing. You're never going to see me as the lead in a musical, partly because of my age, and partly because I am not that kind of belting singer. You know, I'm the background singer. That's fine with me, you know. So, but
it took several years for you to get there, right?
I think that I worked with Glenda for 3 years, maybe, and the Sister Act was the first musical where I was what's called a named character. I was Sister Mary Lazarus. And I had a singing line all on my own. Scared me to death every night. And fortunately...
I would like to know why.
Because I had so little confidence that I would sound good when it came out. Fortunately, the scene was a guy holding a gun on me. So if it came across as frightened, it probably would have worked out. And then after that, my next experience as a named character singing was last year in The Drowsy Chaperone. And that was, I was playing one of the gangsters. And so I didn't mind that. I wasn't worried about that singing at all because it was character singing. Yeah.
I'm walking here.
Well, yeah. It was Toledo Surprise. Yeah. So it was a fun role. Yeah.
Oh, good.
But I didn't have to appear like Dolly Levi or anything like that. You know. I'm not a singer like he's a singer.
So when she says that, when she says she's not a singer like you, or you're a singer, what does she mean?
Well, what I hear is actually within the story she shared, I see a lot of my own journey. You know, I started off singing with choirs in the church where I grew up as a young person. And I think a lot of folks who get into singing, you know, churches these days have really filled a void where schools have dropped some of their arts programs. Churches remain places of strength for young children, and I'm thankful for that. So it got me started. But, you know, when I decided to make the leap to go into musical theater at the age of about 11, so it was 6th grade for me, I was going to hold back and kind of try. I was pretty shy at the time. You know, middle school is, I guess, a bit like that. And so I auditioned for Linus.
Plus your voice was changing.
Well, there's that, yeah, a bit. But I auditioned for Linus in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And it was the director and the choreographer who saw something in me, and they said, you know what? Okay, thank you. I want you to try this. And they had me audition for Snoopy. And I got that part. And what that taught me is what has become the passion for me in singing. And that is, I want to be that person that not only sees the gift, but calls it out. Because to me, what makes singing, what gives me a chill, what makes me feel connected to a singer, is less about the perfect notes. You don't need to sound like Karen Carpenter. You don't have to hit every note just so, but when I feel something, and when someone believes in someone, to call that out of them and they start believing in themselves, it is one of the most profound moments of growth that you can witness from the perspective of watching someone do it and then within ourselves. So to me, when you jump into theater, you become part of that cycle, that dynamic cycle of mutual encouragement and the growth that comes from that. It's awesome. And so that has long been my passion. And one of the greatest gifts is when in this particular play, seeing the young children that we have that are jumping in, that are performing magnificently, having started from being fairly meek. And just that, to see that happen it's gold. It's gold. So that motivates my singing, because to know that was encouraged, and I never forget that 11-year-old version of myself that needed that voice, that one or two voices that just said, hey, try this. I see this in you. And all of a sudden, you take the leap, and then you start believing in yourself, and you find those little nuggets that allow you to just
Are
like,
you
break
a little
out.
nugget?
I guess so.
Well, you are a nugget, but I'm saying the nuggets within yourself that just give you the permission to maybe step beyond what you think your capacities are, and that's the beauty of art in general, but also community theater encourages that, I've found. But I also I take that on. I take that seriously. I want to be one of those people that sees that and encourages that. That's one of the things I think that drew me into ministry, because ministry is all about that. Seeing in
community.
people.
Yes,
and
yes,
community.
yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Building up each other's gifts and encouraging that.
Yeah.
Because that's our call. In theater, as in church, as in life. Our call is to shine. To shine our light, whatever light we've been given. Not about being perfect. I asked my son the question. I was like, what makes you a singer? And he's like, the fact that I love to sing. I'm like, that's exactly right. It's not about your training. It's not about how good you sound.
How old is he?
He's 10, and he's also in the play.
show.
He's also in the play. Yeah,
He's
in
very
Shrek.
good.
Yeah, but it's just it's
Our
about
children
encouraging.
are extremely good.
Yeah,
that are
we're
in
very
this show.
fortunate to have some very talented and well encouraged children.
Where do they come from? Well, but where do they live?
They live in, Dan's son is one here.
Auburn.
Meta Vista,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah,
where
no,
they
they're in Christian Valley, so still
Christian
in Auburn.
Valley.
They're
and
local
They're
people.
all
Oh, yeah.
locals, yes. They were mined from this soil with a little Cape Cod mixed in.
Yeah. Some of our actors, not the children, but some of our actors are from Roseville, Antelope,
Yeah.
Sacramento, Folsom, Rancho Cordova, etc.
And that's because Stack has attracted, has a reputation.
It does.
Indeed.
I'm so excited. Oh my. What advice do you have for beginner singers?
I would say, just from my own experience, find a voice teacher. There's several very good voice teachers in town. I know, some other people that are on our committee that felt they weren't, just because you're on the STAC committee does not mean you're an actor or a singer. But she wanted to improve her singing and maybe move into the performance part also. She took some singing lessons here in town. That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly one, and I do think that absolutely hones the gift. But to me, if I had just one thing to say, it's just sing. It doesn't matter how you sound. If you want to be a singer, if that's in your heart, if that's your passion, then sing. And find those places that encourage you to sing. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be the front of the stage person. But singing is not only about how you project your voice and how you add your voice, but it's about how you listen. It's learning the skills of listening to all of those you're singing with. So to me, singing is just such a powerful metaphor for how we operate in just sort of, the human community.
Okay.
Yeah. You can tell I'm a pastor. Everything
I can
kind of
also
comes to
tell
the
you're an
larger
actor
picture.
and
Oh,
a
thank
singer and enthusiastic and a parent and
all those things.
And a person who lives in Auburn.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, I am just thrilled to be able to talk with you. I have loved this very quick 28, 29, 30 minutes. I just love it. I'm really tickled to have you join me. Patti Baker, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Dan Spacek, thank you very much.
My absolute pleasure.
And you guys, please log on to auburnstatetheater.org and take a look at Stack Theater. I think you'll be just thrilled. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again.
Thank you.